bam. All right, hey everybody, it's me, Chris. Hope you're having the best day of your life. So as promised, I talk about cigars in here oftentimes, but I also talk about my art as well. So I am an artist first and foremost. I relate to that the most, and it applies to every other aspect of my life. And so when I view my life, I try to view my life through I am an artist, and I want to make my life amazing and beautiful the same way I want to make amazing art. But so I would take a moment and I want to talk about some art from a while ago now. So not that long ago, but so I took a lot of time to intensely make a lot of art for a season because after my body was going through a lot of stuff with Lyme disease and everything else. So here's a few drawings, sketches, whatever it may be. I'm going to talk about it, what I was going through, where it came from, the inspiration, everything else. And so this puppy here, if we can see it, this is one I really, really love. So when I made it, there's a bunch of stuff going on. If we look at that, is I became really enthralled or stuck on lines and filling in lines, filling in space. I have a little bit of OCD, to say the least, and so making something like this where the chaos works together, you'll notice as the colors fill in, to add space, to add color, texture, everything else to it. It really builds to me. But the idea, I wanted to make it almost look like a crystal, where it's like their body is a crystal. It's forming into the shape of a human being. But also capturing almost what's going on in my mind oftentimes, where I seem pretty normal, but oftentimes I will be kind of deconstructing things, and like it almost feels like everything I see, I'm kind of peeling back layers all the time, if that makes sense. Because I just kind of notice everything in essence. Um, so that was kind of this, and so that's why when I looked at the eyes here, I want all the depth to the eyes because I was capturing what I was feeling when I was going through this difficult time, and I was going through all this anxiety, all of this fear, this crazy hormonal imbalances from my Lyme disease and everything else this season, and it just related to me. So I really love this guy right here. So let's go ahead and get to the next one, which I also really love. So this one as well, you look at it, there's a messy look to it, but there's a lot of texture as well. And so similar concept where you have all these colors blend together and lots of individual dots and strokes and everything else to get the color just right and to kind of almost look like a sculpture almost where it builds. And I want to capture the chaos behind the eyes and the chaos of the shock of the person almost. And so I have always suffered with like bad anxiety, panic attacks, stuff like that. But I work with people. I'm very good with people. People perceive me to be very good with them. But I'm a very anxious person. Not all the time, but I can be very high strung in moments. And so, I'm used to public speaking all the time. And like I'm actually more comfortable public speaking than speaking to people one on one, which is that's interesting, right? But I had some more training in that. But so this one though is kind of capturing almost the shock of the freeze. I was feeling there for a while when I was having the worst of my Lyme disease, when I was having the crazy anxiety to go with it, the crazy thoughts because it was going to my brain, all that stuff. And so I kind of create the shock, that feeling. And so that's what I was trying to create with this. And I was really getting my system again. Like I don't make really art for people per se, but I make art that I love. And I always feel like if you love what you make, it goes through and people can see that. And so that's what I made here. And so let me see if I have like one more I'll share with you guys. One more. Let me see. 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 Blah 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 blah. There we go. I'll share one more. And so this was from a while back. And so I am a big Frank Miller fan. Huge fan. I have like all of his Sin City books. A couple copies of 300 alone. I actually had to sell one because I had too many copies of it. So this guy right here, you can probably see a little bit of Sin City influence behind it. But again, same thing, kind of the shock and just like the awestruck nature that oftentimes I'm feeling. And so I find it interesting people always perceive me as being like this incredibly like outgoing, charismatic person, blah blah. Like that's not conceited itself, so like get over it. But like people will kind of have I work with people a lot, but like people assume that of me. But oftentimes this is how I am. I'm more of like holy cannoli, and I'm almost just like in shock. But like, so I'm very proactive, but it takes a lot of effort every so often to get through my days. Not by and large, I do pretty well. Like I have routines, regiments, and everything else. Um, but it's hard sometimes, and so I don't know if people see it. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But I'm probably too hard on myself. Besides that, but this is one I really do love as well, which interpret as you will. We can call it different names. I have a name for it, but I won't say it. But so this puppy, I freaking just adore it. I love the freaking texture all over it. You can tell I was listening to a lot of gorillas at the time that I made this, and so it has kind of almost a vibe like gorillas, like gorillas music video almost. But I want to capture a street art feel when I made it with the streaks and the line and the gel or whatever could be dripping down this guy's face, which is like the sunken just like this seriousness to it. And I love it. And I love the blackout background. And so all these are Posca pens, Pusca pen, whatever the fuck you call them. Posca pens, part of the language. Posca pens. And I really love the juxtaposition of color throughout, the yellow with the blue and the pink and everything else. And what was going through my mind when I made it, I was just having so much tremendous fun. But to be honest, a decent amount I did make is probably due to some of the isolation I had during COVID. And also, I was kind of heartbroken at the time as well. And so I was using my art to vent and to get it out of my system and to get out my emotions because I had difficulty really having emotions, really, or showing emotions for the longest time. Um, so art has been the way to free myself and free my mind and let myself go and be free and be full of love and life. So I'm actually gonna go paint some more. But anyway, guys, I love you all. If you want me to post more art content, please let me know. I would love to, but if not, that's fine as well. You're the best. You're the best. Subscribe if you like. If you don't, it's fine as well. Anyway, I'm Chris. Love you all. I'll see you around. Adios, amigos.